Ritter's sudden death was blamed on a heart condition that is hard to detect, but not as rare as you might think.
Laughter turned to tears when America lost one of its favorite funny men, John Ritter, in 2003. The star of Three's Company and 8 Simple Rules was snatched away by a silent killer, an aortic dissection. But the story doesn't end there. In a plot twist worthy of a Hollywood tearjerker, his brother Tom nearly met the same fate years later.
I thought Three's Company is like Chinese food. You watch it, and then a half an hour later, you're ready for more comedy.
The Ritter brothers. John Ritter was more than just a beloved actor and comedian. He was a brother, a son, and a father. His sudden death in 2003 shocked his fans and his family, particularly his older brother Tom. Little did they know that John's tragic passing would set in motion a series of events that ultimately would save Tom's life. John and Tom grew up in what Tom describes as a fairly typical suburban Los Angeles upbringing. Their childhood was filled with the usual sibling rivalries and playful banter. Quote, "There were lots of arguments in the backyard over the wiffle ball that ended up in fits of laughter. Despite being the younger brother, John often took on a protective role towards Tom, who was born with cerebral palsy. Growing up, John supported me like a big brother would, even though I was a bit older. He stuck up for me and protected me against bullying." The Ritter family had strong ties to show business. Their father, Tex Ritter, was a popular singing cowboy who made movies in the 30s and 40s, while their mother, Dorothy Faye, had acted alongside Hollywood legends like Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant. During the summers, the Ritter family would travel together when Tex went on concert tours. These trips provided valuable life lessons for the young brothers. "We learned to be patient and cordial with people by watching Mom and Dad. My mom was the most positive and upbeat person on the earth."
After school, he landed small parts in several TV series.
Whatever songs you think best will be.
Then got his real break when he won the role of a preacher on The Waltons.
That's quite all right.
Then, in 1975, Ritter got the part he's best known for. He beat out 50 other actors, including Billy Crystal, to land the lead of a new series called Three's Company.
John's path to stardom. Tom remembers a pivotal moment when John was about 8 years old. Quote, "I remember he was mesmerized when he went to see our cousin Jamie in a play. John was determined to be an actor." As a young man, John studied the comic routines of idols like Dick Van Dyke and Jerry Lewis, practicing their moves and developing his own unique style. John initially majored in psychology at the University of Southern California, but soon switched his concentration to theater. The decision wasn't initially met with enthusiasm from their father. "My dad was the last of the 3 of us to come around. He saw one of John's college performances, and he turned to my mother and said, 'I guess we lost him.' In other words, he's got talent, and there's no stopping him." John's big break came in 1976 when he landed the role of Jack Tripper on Three's Company.
Oh, you back so soon?
You were listening.
No, I was not listening. And I am so proud of you. That was a tremendous sacrifice you made, Bridget.
Well, it was the right thing to do. It was actually you, Dad. I mean, you told me not to be selfish because I could be ruining his future.
Wow, you listened. I can't tell you how much this means to me.
The tragic day. On September 11th, 2003, while rehearsing for his sitcom 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter, John Ritter began experiencing severe chest pains, nausea, and vomiting. He was rushed to a nearby hospital where doctors initially believed he was having a heart attack. Despite their efforts, John passed away later that evening. The cause was later determined to be an aortic dissection, a tear in the wall of the aorta, the body's main artery. John's sudden death at age 54 was a devastating blow to his family, friends, and fans. For Tom, the loss of his younger brother was particularly painful. The two had shared a close bond throughout their lives, and John's passing left a void that could never be filled.
It's not yet known what led to Ritter's condition, but common causes are high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and blunt trauma, like a car accident. Genetic defects can also play a role.
Tom's close call. 4 years after John's death, Tom Ritter faced his own brush with mortality. In 2007, at the urging of family members who were now acutely aware of the potential for genetic heart issues, Tom underwent an aortic scan. The results were alarming. His aorta was in a condition eerily similar to John's at the time of his death, on the verge of a potentially fatal rupture. The day Tom received his scan results is one he'll never forget. When the doctor called me into his office, I could tell by the look on his face something was wrong. He showed me the images of my aorta and explained that it was significantly enlarged, just like John's had been. Tom was suddenly faced with the realization that he could have died at any moment, just like his brother had. Tom said, "I kept thinking about how I'd been going about my daily life, never knowing I was a ticking time bomb." The discovery was a wake-up call for Tom and the entire Ritter family. It highlighted the genetic component of aortic issues and the critical importance of family screening. Tom's wife, who had been with him at the appointment, immediately sprang into action, contacting family members and researching the best cardiac surgeons in the area. Within days of the diagnosis, Tom was scheduled for emergency surgery to repair his weakened aorta. The procedure was complex and had risks, but Tom knew it was his only chance at avoiding his brother's fate. Going into surgery, I was terrified, but I also felt a strange sense of gratitude. I was getting a chance that John never had. The surgery lasted several hours, with Tom's family anxiously waiting for news. When the surgeon finally emerged to tell them the operation had been successful, there was a collective sigh of relief. Tom had been given a second chance at life. Recovering from the surgery was challenging. Tom spent several weeks in the hospital, gradually regaining his strength. As he recovered, he couldn't help but reflect on the twist of fate that had saved his life. If John had not passed away, Tom might never have gotten screened. John's tragic death had indirectly saved his brother's life. I'm incredibly grateful to be alive, but I wish more than anything that John could be here too.
The John Ritter family let us use their name for a research program, so it's known as the John Ritter Research Program. That brings a certain amount of, a spotlight on what we're doing and really makes the patients comfortable in terms of participating in our research.
A family's mission. In the wake of John's death and Tom's near miss, the Ritter family, led by John's widow Amy Yazbek, embarked on a mission to raise awareness about aortic health. They founded the John Ritter Foundation, which works to educate the public and medical professionals about the signs, symptoms, and risk factors of aortic dissection. Tom became an advocate for aortic health awareness, using his own story to encourage others to get screened, especially if they have a family history of aortic issues. He often speaks about the importance of knowing one's family medical history and being proactive about health concerns. I share my story because I want people to understand that this can happen to anyone. The foundation also developed the Ritter Rules, a set of guidelines to help people understand and potentially identify aortic dissection. These rules, named in John's memory, have become an important resource in emergency medicine and have potentially saved many lives.
He just wanted to make you laugh. And it wasn't out of like me, so I'll make you laugh. It was because that's what he was here to do.
Remembering John. While the tragedy of John's death and the subsequent discovery of Tom's condition have undoubtedly changed the Ritter family, they also cherish the memories of John's life and the impact he had on those around him. Tom often reminisces about John's kindness and sense of humor. Quote, "There was a lot of joy and laughter in the house and a lot of play." He remembers how John would practice his comedic routines at home, filling the house with laughter. John's legacy lives on not only through his work in entertainment, but also through the lives saved by increased awareness of aortic health issues. Tom takes comfort in knowing that his brother's death has led to potentially life-saving changes in how aortic dissection is recognized and treated. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of John Ritter? Let us know in the comments section below.